Right, hello everyone. This is Sonic Goon, coach of the Lansdowne Guzzlords for VPL Season 6. This is my week 2 recap against the New Jersey Joltiks, coached by ironangelo. So just get right into his team. Mega Dancy, Victini Corviknight, Salamence, Nidoqueen, Raikou, Blastoise, Trevenant, Liepard, and Type Null. So the matchup I think is slightly in my favor. Just like last week, I have the speed advantage with Torrentee, which is super nice to always have. Um, and but unfortunately, like type coverage matchup wise, the biggest problems I'm going to probably be facing are Salamence and Corviknight, just because they are a flying type. Because other than that, his team's actually really weak to Scarf Crocodile. Nothing really. The only other thing that really wants to take like an Earthquake on his team is Trevenant. But like Mega Dancy definitely doesn't want to. Victini doesn't want to. Nidoqueen definitely doesn't want to. Raikou doesn't want to. So that was definitely something I had to keep in mind. Like screamed at me, bring Scarf Crocodile. But yeah, I think that this is again one of those close matchups where it definitely edges out my favor if I make the right plays. But he can very easily win this if he makes the right reads or brings the right Pokemon, and I don't. So my main worry was actually breaking Corviknight, because I wasn't super worried about Salamence, just because I have a bunch of Ice type coverage on my team, as well as a Fairy type, so I don't really worry too much about getting rid of this Salamence. But for the Corviknight, that's definitely something else, because I don't have an Electric type, so I have to use a Fire type. So yeah. But as I said, when I looked at his team, it screamed bring Scarf Crocodile and then kill the flying types, and then this thing wins. Which is definitely the game plan. If I get one kill off Earthquake and get that Moxie boost, it's basically GG. Nothing outspeeds us unless it's also Scarf, and then Earthquake probably 2 KOs the rest of the team at +1. I didn't really actually calc. I just kind of was like, this is Crook's time to shine. Yeah. So knock off, because if Corviknight or Mence aren't dead, knocking off items is very, very crucial. Stone Edge hits both of them for neutral damage, or hits Core for neutral, as well as Salamence for super effective damage. So if I get the right prediction and get like a huge Stone Edge crit onto the Salamence, that's be huge. And then Stealth Rock, because I didn't really know what fourth move to run. And I'm just like, yeah, if I put rocks down, that's gonna tell me what set Victini is if it's there, or Mence if it's not boots. And then next is 69420, the Gallerweezing. I'm so glad I was able to use this name. I actually opted for a more offensive build. So as you can see, it has 60 speed EVs that puts it at 171 speed. This actually outspeeds uninvested Corviknight by 1 point, which is definitely because I looked at this team and I'm like, oh, he's gonna bring like a support or bulk up Corviknight, and those typically don't run speed at all. So yeah, I speed crept the Corviknight to catch him for not running speed, and then the rest of the then max special attack, and then rest and HP. So this mon still does all the jobs it does as a defensive wall, but not as well. But now it can actually hit anything that hits it back for super hard damage. Defog, just because if I need to get rid of rocks, I can, but I'm not really too worried about hazards this game. Strain Steam hits Mence, it hits Liepard, it hits a lot of things, and the 20% confusion chance is just a really nice thing to have. Sludge Bomb, just because, again, 30% poison chance is pretty great. And then Fire Blast, because I really need to chunk this Corviknight in order to even kill it. Next is Fat Ass, the Slowbro. This is, again, standard Slowbro. I don't think Slowbro will really deviate too far from the norm unless I'm going for some really crazy strats. So Scald, Teleport, Slack Off is probably going to be the 3 moves I bring every single week. But then this week I have Ice Beam because it one-shots Mence unless it's Yachi. But if it's Yachi, I find out and it doesn't do anything to me because I'm Slowbro and I am defensive as hell. So yeah, this is literally just here for Mence on other physical attackers that I don't really care about. But yeah, that's basically what it does. The same thing every week. This is Gallade. It's some weeb shit. Instead of a setup support or setup sweeper like I had last week, instead I just opted for 4 attacks just because I don't think I'm gonna have that many opportunities to set up. And if he runs like random scarfers, that can really kill me. So I really need to worry about just punching the hell out of whatever's on his side of the field as hard as I possibly can. So close combat, knockoff, Zen Headbutt, the standard 3 moves that Gallade always runs, and then I have Ice Punch to kill Mence. Because Inner Focus blocks the Intimidate anyway, so I don't really care about being it switching in, because it's just gonna die to Ice Punch if I predict correctly. Next is Bork the Arcanine. So this is definitely showing, like, this week is definitely showing the weaknesses of my team, because I don't really have much to punch through other than Gallade. So this is going to have to be my breaker. Heavy duty boots, Intimidate, Morning Sun, Iron Head, Flare Blitz, Play Rough, Iron Head. If I dodge, I have to hope, specifically this reason why this is here is I have to hope that either he predicts me to go for Flare Blitz and goes into Diancie to take that, and then I predict that and go for Iron Head and kill it, or he misses, or he goes for Diamond Storm against Arcanine instead of Earth Power and misses his Diamond Storm. I can hit the Iron Head and kill it. That's literally why Iron Head's there. I will not be clicking that move against any other Pokemon. Flare Blitz hits his entire team, and it does a lot of damage, because this is an Arcanine. Even if it's not the strongest Pokemon ever, it still hits for a decent amount, especially from Stab Flare Blitz. And then Play Rough is there for Salamence. And then Morning Sun exists just to heal it back up if I get the free turn to do so, but it's probably going to die very quickly. Last but certainly not least is Torn T. Heavy duty boots just to ignore hazards again, but U-turn, Ninetale, knockoff Hurricane, so I opted for more physically offensive Torn, just because I wanted knockoff to do as much damage as I possibly can against this team. Iron Tail exists to kill Mega Diancie in one hit if it hits, and then Hurricane, even if it's not fully invested in special attack, still doing a lot just because Stab and plus it's Hurricane. And the 30% chance to confuse is just super nice to have. Unfortunately, the 70% accuracy, it's a huge risk I'm going to have to take. And then U-turn just gives me a lot of momentum to switch amongst my team pretty well. So just to go straight into the match. Angelo brings Mega Diancie, Mence, Liepard, Raikou, Nidoqueen, and Corviknight. So I expected 5 of the Pokemon, and I did not expect Liepard at all. I was actually expecting Victini, just going full the top six mons of his lineup. So the Liepard definitely catches me off guard, but I wasn't really expecting it going into this match because it's a Liepard. Liepard's not a great mon. It's like worth 3 or 4 points in our league. But we'll see in this match, it actually does a bit of work for how much or how little Angelo paid for that mon. It did quite a decent amount of work. So at this point, I realized I didn't actually build my team well to deal with Raikou, because in Gen 8, it got Scald through Pokemon Home for some reason. Like, it just has Scald, which is really weird. So it basically becomes a really super offensive Rotom Wash now, minus the water typing, which is super scary to deal with offensively. So I don't actually have much of a Raikou switch in. I didn't really have one before, but now it's just super obvious that I don't have one. So I'm going to really play around that. Hope it's not like a sub-calm mindset, because that definitely will run through my team. So just looking at this matchup, I have to lead Scarf Crook, because if he's like Scarf, I don't know, Raikou, then it means he can't one-shot me, but then I can one-shot him with Earthquake. So, and then like if he goes like Corv, I switch. If he goes Mence, I switch. Diancie dies. Everything else kind of just takes a huge amount of damage from Earthquake anyway. So I figured, my best lead is Scarf Crook. Here he leads Nidoqueen, and I just go straight for the Earthquake. This is my best play. I want to just, if I killed this Nidoqueen, I'd be in huge advantage here. But unfortunately, I think I got the low roll on this. So he definitely has defensive investment and not like special defense. So he lives this earthquake and is able to stealth rock. And now my team has to worry about rocks and taking chip damage on switch in. Then he goes into Corv, and I have to play around this Corv. He reveals that he's actually just Iron Defense full body press, which I was surprised that he thought that that was a good thing to bring this week. Because I have Galar, Weezing, and Slowbro to sit there and 1v1 this Corviknight to death, because body press will do actually negative 20% damage to me, and then I burn it, and then it's completely useless. So here I actually should have just went straight for TP and kept the pressure up going, but instead I go for Scald. That loses all of my momentum for this game. So I have to, and then this is when I realized, man, I really need to sack something, because this is an annoying mon to deal with. So I choose to go into Arcanine because it has a decent bulk, so I was hoping I can live this Scald. And I actually do. So now he's at 60%, and now he has to Scald me again, taking another 10% from that Life Orb. So Life Orb damage is super adding up on him. So I actually turned a bad situation into a good situation from sacking my Arcanine, which wasn't really doing much of this game. Because now that this Corv is body press and not like a bulk up Iron Head, Roost, body press, I don't know, U-turn set, my Weezing definitely 1v1s this thing and wins every single time. So here I go into Crook again. I have to, because this is the only thing I can really alright deal with this. I go straight for a knock, because if he predicts right and he stays in and scalds me, I knock off his Life Orb, and I don't know if that was a guaranteed kill on my Crook if he's knocked off. So I definitely was like, full risk. And I knock off his Corviknight's leftovers, which really helps me deal with it later on. So here he goes for Iron Defense again, which is really weird, again, because I have 69, 420. And I hit my Fire Blast, do nice 60%. So he's definitely like the standard Iron Defense set. Here he reveals that he's Prankster Liepard. And unfortunately I get full parried here. If I didn't get full parried, this Strain Steam would have probably one-shot this. And then he goes into Corviknight to sack it, because I have no reason to switch at this point. Here he goes into Mence to try to scare me into doing stuff, but I just take this. I know I can take this end headbutt, even if it's banded. But unfortunately, I get full parried again. If I didn't get full parried either of those turns, two Pokemon or one more Pokemon on this team would have been dead, and I would have been in a fantastic situation. But it's Mons, things happen. So now I'm in a bad spot because I have to switch here, and he actually predicts my switch into Slowbro really well. So I have to win this 50-50 again. He goes for Scald, and I get the prediction correctly, and go TP right into my Krookodile. So now this is looking really good, and I go for Knock instead of EQ. God damn it. If I went for EQ here, this Diancie would have been dead, and I would have been in a phenomenal spot. But instead, I go for Knock, because I'm predicting the Salamence to come in, and he reveals that he is actually Rock Polish. So at this point, I think I lose the game entirely. At Rock Polish, he has to use my entire team. If he's Modest, if he's the set that I brought the last season VPL, where I used this exact same move, I definitely lost here, 1000% of the time, because Moonblast 2 KOs Slowbro. It should kill Gallade even with the bulk. It only doesn't really deal with Galar Weezing that well, but it kills Crook, it outspeeds my Torn, so this Mon definitely just kind of runs up on my team. But he reveals that he's fully physical, and that does actually nothing to my Slowbro at all, and I get the Scald burn on top of that. So that was definitely a questionable bring. I definitely would have ran Diamond Storm, Moonblast, Earth Power, or even not even Earth Power, maybe something else. Psychic probably would have actually been a good bring, because that definitely just ran up on my team and won here. But instead, because he's fully physical, I'm able to get my Slowbro all the way back to full and go straight into Crook. Here he knocks off my Scarf, because I don't really need it, because at the range that Raiku's at, all it has to do is click one more move, and it actually will die to my Torn's knockoff 100% of the time. So at 30% it just dies. Here he goes for T-Wave, expecting me to switch, so I'm able to knock off its item. Here I go for rocks, so I'm like, oh, I might as well get around rocks to chip down Mence or chip down Raikou. But he goes right into Diancie again, which is a really good play. Here he goes in the light part again. I have to go into Gallade because I'm expecting like another knock to knock off this Slowbro. Said he goes for Toxic here, which is surprising. I would have gone for T-Wave here 1000% of the time. And here I learned that he is indeed Scarf Mence, and that Aerial Ace one-shot me. So I forgot that thing got Aerial Ace, but that's on me. I should have scrolled down just a centimeter more on the team builder page, and it's literally right there on usually useless moves, but obviously Smogan and the Sports Showdown server is wrong because it was definitely useful. But yeah, he's locked into Aerial Ace, so I just reveal that I have Ice Beam on my Slowbro. And here he goes into Raikou. I have no reason not to go into Crook because, again, I know that my knockoff from Torn T can kill, so I don't care if he predicts it and goes for Scald because this is basically useless. And now he's at 30%. He is in knockoff range, and there goes Raikou, and this is looking pretty good for me. And oddly enough, this is a really weird Salmon set again. So, again, 2 weeks in a row, I've had an opponent that doesn't run max speed on their like +1 speed bonds. So last week it was Butterfree, and this week it's Mence. So I'm actually able to outspeed Scarf Mence and hit it with the Hurricane. And I actually do get the 30% confusion. So all the hacks that I had earlier on in the game with the double paras actually comes back to help me in the end. And he actually hits himself in confusion at the end of the game. So GG's to Angelo. It was a pretty well played game. Obviously, like, his inexperience kind of got the better of him, because after the game he actually told me that like he didn't even know that Diamond Storm was legal, or things like weird move legality things, which I think which I don't really blame him for, because this generation's just weird with how leagues are handling legality. Just because a Pokemon can have a move but doesn't show up in Team Builder, or it could have lost a move and it still shows up. So like, certain mons still have Toxic showing up even though they can't learn it, or they have Hidden Power or Pursuit there still, but those are gone. So yeah, GG's. I don't really think that either of us played terribly, but definitely, unlike last week where the hacks was in my favor, this was definitely my opponent messed up a bunch of times and I happened to just benefit from it. But I still think that Angelo can bounce back. He beat a really good coach week 1, so I feel like he definitely has the potential to make it far into this league. He's definitely a lot better than he gave himself credit for, and I mean, like, he's one of the few people that have wins on me that aren't like the best of Villanova's players. So yeah, so hopefully my luck is looking kind of running out now, because it didn't kick in until the end when I didn't miss a single Hurricane, but even then that didn't really matter. But going forward, I hope the luck continues, but it very well could just end right here, and next week I get trounced by everything going my opponent's way. But yeah, GG's again. Hope that Angelo does well in the rest of the league, and I hope I also do better in the rest of the league. 3-0 win is definitely nothing to be sad about, especially when I didn't really think I played bad. So yeah, see you guys next week.